चलो ठीक है. Now coming to AS12. Let us start AS12. So AS12 is one of the simplest accounting standard. But then also doubt comes with the question. Sometimes we don't understand question only. But as per teaching point of view, this is very simple. So what is the accounting treatment of government grant? Now first we need to understand what is government grant. But before that we need to understand what is government. So in this chapter, government means not only state government, not only central government. So here government refers to government, means state government, central government, as well as any government agencies, as well as any similar bodies which can be either local bodies or national bodies or any international bodies. So it is not only government, it can be government agencies or any similar bodies. Okay, sir. Now what do you mean by government grant? So government grant means it is one type of help from what? Government. So it is assistance from government either in cash or in kind. Either in cash, some cash will be given, or some asset will be given, cash or in kind, to any entity, for past or future compliance, either for some past compliance or some future compliance, with certain condition attached to it. Means there will be certain condition. Understood? Government grant meaning means any transfer of resource from government to any other entity for past or future compliance will be a government grant. Okay. Then they have given one clarification that government grant does not include any government assistance to which monetary value cannot be placed. Why? Because you can see they are written in cash or in kind. Just try to understand. Sometimes what happens, government may provide some services to any entity which may be free. So suppose if I am providing some services to you, so can you say some resource has not been transferred? So it cannot be expressed in monetary terms. So that is not a government grant. So example, any free technical or marketing advice by the government. So some free services has been given by government to any entity will not be a government grant. Because it cannot be expressed in money terms. Normal trading transaction with government. Suppose you have done some normal trading transaction with government, you purchase some item from the government at discount. So that discount is not a grant. Now coming to recognition of government grant. Now the question arises, we recognize government grant on accrual basis or received basis? Accrual or received? No, it is always accrual because we follow accrual system of accounting. Why you are saying received? Because there is no question of accrual. Understood? So it can be recognized on accrual basis if two conditions are satisfied. How many conditions? Two conditions. So what our AS12 says that any government grant can be recognized only when there is a reasonable assurance. Once again, the word is what? Reasonable assurance means probable. Means chances are more than 50%. So whenever there is a reasonable assurance that entity will be able to comply the condition and the grant will be received. If these two conditions satisfied, even though grant is not received, we can pass the journal entry. We can recognize the government grant. Means can I say if the grant is receivable and both the above conditions are satisfied? If the grant is not received, means receivable, and both the above conditions are satisfied, then our journal entry will what? Government grant receivable to grant. Understood? But can I say if any one condition is not satisfied, so we need to wait for actual receipt, and once it is received, then only we can pass journal entry. So it is quite possible that abhi tak these two conditions are not satisfied. So once the grant is received, then only we can pass journal entry. Then your journal entry will bank account debit to grant. Means can you say we can pass this journal entry or this journal entry as per the information given the question. But whatever question has been given in ICS study matter, the date of receipt and date of accrual are same, and therefore we pass the journal entry bank account debit to grant. Understood? Now what is the objective of this chapter? objective of this chapter ki what will be the accounting treatment of grant, what will be the accounting treatment of grant. Okay. So what our AS12 says that either this grant will be transferred to capital reserve or it will be transferred to PL. Either it will be transferred to capital reserve or it will be transferred to PL. So we need to understand when it is transferred to capital reserve, when it is transferred to PL. Now if it is transferred to PL, either it is transferred to PL on deferred basis or it can be transferred on immediate basis. Immediately it will be transferred to PL. So we need to understand when it will be transferred on deferred basis, when it is transferred on immediate basis. Immediately means it will be transferred immediately to PL account. Deferred basis means it will be amortized to PL over the period on some systematic basis. On some systematic basis. Understood? It means now we need to understand when it will be transferred to capital reserve, when it will be deferred income, and when it will be directly transferred to PL immediately. So there can be three situations. There can be three situations. I hope this much you understood. So this is given in this para. You can read. You can read. Okay. Understood? It's fine. Now the accounting treatment of grant depends upon the nature of grant. It depends on the nature of grant. For which purpose the grant has been received. For which purpose the grant has been received. First nature is what? Grant related to depreciable asset. Means you have received grant to purchase depreciable asset. Now depreciable asset can be PP. It can be intangible asset because depreciation and amortization are same. Depreciation and amortization are same. So if you have received grant for PP or intangible asset, it will come in this category. But except land, because land is not a depreciable asset. Land is not a depreciable asset. Understood this point? Have you understood this point? So whenever you receive grant for depreciable asset, they have given two accounting treatment. They have given how many accounting treatment? Two alternative accounting treatment. What they say, first accounting treatment, ki whatever grant you have received, that will be treated as deferred income. Deferred income means this one. Deferred income, correct? Deferred income, and deferred income will be amortized over the useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation. So it will be amortized to PL over the useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation. Very simple. So in the first case, grant is treated as deferred income and deferred income is recognized in PL over the useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation. Normally they give SLM method. If they have given SLM method, so deferred income will be transferred equally over the year. But if it is RBM, be careful. RBM is reducing balance method. So first you need to calculate entire depreciation of all the useful life. Then in that ratio you need to allocate what? Deferred income. So normally they don't ask RBM, but if they ask RBM, be careful. First you need to calculate depreciation over the useful life of the asset. That will be reducing balance. In that ratio you need to allocate deferred income over the useful life of the asset. Over the useful life of the asset. Allocation you can do because you have calculator. Understood this much? Second is what? What is the second option available? He will not treat grant as a deferred income. Directly be reduced from the cost price of asset. So whatever grant you receive, deduct from the cost price of depreciable asset. For example, you purchase an asset of rupees 100 lakh and you have received a grant of 80 lakh. So directly reduce from 80 lakh and it will become 20 lakh and you need to now charge depreciation of what? On 20 lakh. Charge depreciation on 20 lakh. Understood? So this we call net basis. This we call gross basis. Means in this case, if suppose you purchase an asset of rupees 100 lakh, so we will not deduct grant from 100 lakh. So grant will be separately a deferred income, and we'll charge depreciation on what? 100. We'll charge depreciation on 100. But in this case, we are charging depreciation on 20. Understood? Have you understood? But there can be one situation, ki suppose you purchase one asset of rupees 100 and you receive a grant of rupees 100, then it will become 0. So can you say it will be wrong from presentation point of view? You have an asset, you are using it and the value becomes 0. So in this case, what our AS12 says, in this case, the asset will be disclosed at nominal value. So if the grant is equal to or more than the cost price of asset will be disclosed at nominal value. Nominal value means what? Insignificant value means 10 rupees, 100 rupees, only for which purpose? Disclosure purpose. Only for disclosure purpose. Understood? First case understood. depreciable asset. Now the question arises, sir, we will do this method or this method. Normally that will be given in the question. If not given, give both. You don't have any choice. If you want full marks, you need to give both. So if the method has not been given, I will suggest you give both the method from examination purpose. Understood? Can we move? Yes, sir. Now grant related to non-depreciable asset. Non-depreciable asset, only one example we have, land. Only one example we have, land. So if you have received some grant for non-depreciable asset, so what our AS12 says that if there is no obligation means there is no condition. In simple word, I will say no condition. If there is no condition, then entire grant will be transferred to capital reserve. The entire grant will be transferred to capital reserve. Understood? But if there is some obligation exists, obligation means there is some condition. So guys, you need to fulfill the condition. And for fulfilling the condition, it is quite possible you need to incur some expense. You need to incur some expense. So in that case, what our AS12 says that grant will be treated as deferred income, which will be amortized over the period of obligation in the ratio of expense for meeting that obligation. However, till now this point has not been asked in exam. Means whenever question is silent, we'll assume there is no obligation and entire grant will be transferred to what? Capital reserve. Correct. So in this case, what they are saying, treated as deferred income and recognized in PL over the period over which the cost of meeting such obligation is charged to PL. Means suppose you receive a grant for non-depreciable asset with the condition that you need develop irrigation facility. You receive grant for agriculture land and you should develop an irrigation facility in the coming 5 years. So to develop irrigation facility, you will incur some expense. So amount of expense will be given in the question. Suppose year 1 they have given 1 lakh, year 2 they have given 2 lakh, year 3 they have given 3 lakh, then 4 lakh and 5 lakh. So this will be the ratio in which the deferred income will be transferred to PL. Deferred income will be transferred to PL. Understood? However, till now no question of this nature has been given in ICS study material. So normally this is only the case from examination point of view. Okay, sir? Then non-monetary grant. Non-monetary grant means you receive grant in kind. Means instead of receiving cash, you receive what? Asset only. Either depreciable asset or non-depreciable asset. It can be depreciable or non-depreciable asset. So whenever you receive non-monetary grant, means in kind, there can be two situations. Either the grant is received at free of cost, means land is given free of cost, or land has been given at concessional rate. So if it is given at free of cost, then that asset will disclose at nominal value. Once again, nominal value means insignificant value. But if it is given at concessional land, concessional rate, then we need to recognize that asset at concessional amount. So we'll pass one generally land account debit to bank, whatever concessional amount you have paid. Whatever concessional amount you have paid. It can be any asset, it can be land, it can be intangible asset, it can be any other property, plant and equipment as per the information given in the question. Correct? So if you receive at concessional rate, recorded concessional rate. If you have received at free of cost, then recognize that asset at nominal value. Understood? Then grant related to income. When I say grant related to income, it means you receive grant for revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure. For example, just try to understand. Let me take one example. You want to start a new industry. And for starting that new industry, you require new technology. But for that technology, you require some employee from Japan. You require some employee from Japan for 2 years. So we need to pay high remuneration to them. For that, you approach government. And government says, okay, because industry will be open, the economic condition of India will develop. They say, okay. So it means now the grant, whatever you are receiving from government, that is for payment of salary to technical employee. It means for revenue expenditure. For revenue expenditure. In that case, simply the grant will be treated as deferred income and it will be transferred to PL to match the related expense. To match the related expense. Let me take one example for this. Because no proper question of this has been given in ICS study matter, but can be asked. Suppose this is the 3 year and you receive grant for how many year? 3 year. You receive 10 lakh at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year. For training expense of employee or whatever given the question. And it is given that training expense incurred in the first year is 5 lakh. Second year it is 2 lakh. And third year it is, second year it is 6 lakh. And third year it is 7 lakh. Okay. So it means this will be amortized to PL in which ratio? This ratio. Very simple. Means this will be given in the question. Only to do allocation. Only do allocation. So this will be initially deferred income and transferred to PL on which basis? In the ratio of related expense which they are intended to compensate. So this information will be of course given in the question. If not given, so how can we allocate? Got this point? Suppose you receive the grant only for 1 year. So then the entire grant will be transferred to PL of that year only. Got this point? Chalo. This also you have understood. But in this case, they have given two methods of presentation in SOPL. What they want to say, achha, what is the allocation? Batao? 10 lakh allocated in this ratio. Let us make it 4 lakh. Then I think proper amount will come. How much it is coming? 564. How much? 3 lakh? 3,33,333. Then 4 lakh. Then 2,66,667. Correct? Now, for the first year, how to present in SOPL? So they have given two methods. Either you can present related expense. Expense is how much? 5 lakh. And how much grant income? 3,33,333. Either you can present in this way, or you can present in this way. Expense how much? 5 lakh. And from the related expense, deduct what? Grant. Grant is what? 3,33,300. And what is the net amount? Net amount will become your expense. So either this way or this way, as per your choice. Understood? So this is the method of presentation, but only for this grant. Not for depreciable asset wala grant, not for non-depreciable asset wala grant. Understood? Yes, sir. So presented in SOPL, either presented in SOPL as a separate income or presented by way of deduction from related expenses. Okay? This also you have understood. Then government grant in the nature of promoter contribution. Now promoter contribution means what? The government is acting like a promoter. Means they want to promote some industry. Normally government promote industry in backward area, or they promote industry of a specific nature, for example export oriented industry. So normally in that case government will give some grant to promote that industry. So whenever government is acting like a promoter, in that case whatever grant received will be transferred to what? Capital reserve. It will never be transferred to PL. It will be directly transferred to what? Capital reserve. So it will be directly transferred to capital reserve. Okay, sir. Chalega. Then there is one exception. Right now, just try to understand. Whatever grant received, either it has been transferred to capital reserve or it is deferred income. Till now, we have not transferred to PL immediately. So there are two cases where the grant, whatever you have received, will be immediately transferred to PL in the year in which it is received or receivable. Understand what I am saying? Means just try to understand. First, batao. For depreciable asset, what we have done? We have either treated as a deferred income or deducted from cost price of asset. Means it is not transferred to PL. For non-depreciable asset, can you say if there is no condition, it is transferred to what? Capital reserve. If there is an obligation, then also treated as what? Deferred income now. Means in this case also not transferred to PL immediately, not transferred to PL immediately. Correct. Then we have done grant related to income. There also deferred income. So can you say till now in no case, and also grant in the nature of promoter contribution transfer to capital reserve. So till now in no cases we have transferred grant immediately to PL. So what AS12 says that grant will be transferred to PL immediately in two cases. First, if the grant has been received to compensate past expenses, then it will be transferred to PL immediately in the year in which the grant is received or receivable. So if the grant has been received to compensate what? Past losses or past expenses, then it will be transferred to PL immediately. Second, if the grant has been received as a financial support, means financial support without any related cost, means without any condition, means government has given some financial support to you without any condition, and normally such type of financial support is given to a loss making company, for example internal reconstruction company, to write off losses only. So in that case also the grant will be transferred immediately to what? PL. But there should be no condition, without any condition. Means can I say whenever grant is without any condition, always transferred to PL immediately. So any unconditional grant will be always transferred to PL immediately. So whenever grant is received without any condition, transfer it to PL immediately. Understood? That is only given. Check karo. What is given? Ki grant received or receivable to compensate past losses. Grant received or receivable as a reward for the purpose of giving immediate financial support with no related cost. In the following cases, grants will be recognized in PL of the period in which the grant is received or receivable. Chalega? Have you understood? Correct. Now, the next point, which is more important, refund of government grant. Now, what will be journal entry for refund? Can you say whenever condition is not satisfied, the grant whatever received may be refunded? So what will be refund journal entry? Refund journal entry depends upon original journal entry. Means originally if it was credited to capital reserve, so now it will be debited to what? Capital reserve. Originally if it was credited to PL, now it will debited to what? PL. Understood what I am saying? Correct? So let me what can be the possible situation? Accounting treatment of refund. If the grant was originally transferred to capital reserve, then what is your journal entry? Capital reserve to GG payable and then GG payable to cash or bank. GG means government grant. Okay, sir. If the government grant is initially credited to asset in the depreciable asset, second option. So if it was initially credited to asset, so now debit what? Asset account. So asset account debit to GG payable to cash or bank. So asset account debit to GG payable to cash or bank. If the government grant was initially credited to deferred income, so can you say out of deferred income some amount has been transferred to PL and some amount is still in deferred income account. So there can be some amortized amount, there can be some unamortized account. So first you should debit unamortized account, means deferred income account. So first deferred GG account to GG payable, any balancing figure will be debited to what? PL. So your journal entry will what? Deferred income account, PL account debit to GG payable to cash or bank. Means just try to understand. I'll just give one example for this. Suppose you receive 10 lakh grant. So initially you have transferred the entire 10 lakh to what? Deferred income. So your deferred income become 10 lakh. Correct. Now out of deferred income, some amount has been transferred to PL. So let's say 4 lakh has been transferred to PL during first year, second year, third year. So some amount remain where in deferred income account only, that is 6 lakh. Now refund arises. And as per refund, suppose government demanded not 10 lakh, now they are demanding only 8 lakhs. So suppose they are demanding only 8 lakh. So what will be your journal entry? We will say deferred income account debit how much? 6 lakh. To GG payable how much? 8 lakh. So balancing figure is what? 2 lakh. And 2 lakh will be debited where? In PL. So we will say PL account debit 2 lakh. So balancing figure will be where? In PL account. So it is deferred grant account debit, PL account debit to GG payable, then GG payable to cash or bank. Understood? Done. Chapter over. This refund Whenever this refund is debited to PL, so this will be shown as an extraordinary item as per AS5. MCQ question, multiple choice question ki any refund which has been debited to PL account will be shown as extraordinary item as per AS5. As per AS5, MCQ question can be asked in exam. So that is given a government grant that become refundable is treated as what? Extraordinary item as per AS5. Now if you read, you will be able to understand this diagram by your own. Correct? Understood? Now you were saying some questions of this chapter. Huh? AS28. ठीक है, तो we'll do AS28, then after that we'll do that. AS10 to we have AS10 to done ना? ठीक है, तो do you want me to take some question for this? I think you can do it by row. This chapter I will say my role is less because this much is my role. So I need to understand the question and then do it. Chapter is this much only. Understood? What do you want? Like this? अच्छा ठीक है. So today we completed AS12. Today this much. Okay. So we are left with AS28 and AS13. AS28 from exam point of view is very less. AS13 is a big chapter. So AS13 will take I think more than 2 hours. More than 2 hours. ठीक है? So ठीक है, we'll complete it. Don't worry. So what is the day 3 target? Amalgamation, financial statement company and AS1. AS1 is very easy. So I think we'll be able to complete AS28 also tomorrow. So amalgamation, financial statement. ठीक है? 2 big chapter. Amalgamation will take time. Okay sir? ठीक है? हाँ? AS6 क्या होता है? यहाँ पर ओ अच्छा ठीक है, तो मीन्स AS28 इज हियर ओनली ना. ठीक है, so we'll try to complete AS13 यहाँ में because AS13 will take time. So let's see. Today so I think you'll be tired with amalgamation and financial statement only. After that AS13 नहीं जाएगा. हाँ I know ना, I know. So tomorrow and day 4 will be hectic. Day 4 entire consolidation. So please we'll take less break and more discussion. Otherwise day will be over and I will be also over. Okay. Okay. So now 2 days I have given break as per your point of view. Now 4 days break will be as per my point. Okay. So we learn how to sit for 3 hours. And from your face I can understand whether you are understanding or not. So the moment I will understand that हो गया, I'll give break. ठीक है? Okay sir? चलेगा? But amalgamation, financial statement company, AS1 will be our target. AS13 will see how much you can understand. Okay? Anything you want to say? Okay. Today okay? Understood? So thank you very much for today. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your studies. Bye bye. Thank you.